In this video, we're going to do something completely different. We're going to check out one of my absolute favorite mobile games, Dragon Ball Legends. If you're into the Dragon Ball animes, everything from the original Dragon Ball all the way up to the newest anime in the series, Super, then you're going to enjoy this game as much as I do. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Hey guys, Teiwaz here, back with another game review. However, unlike all my reviews to date, this isn't for PC, it's a mobile game. Now, I haven't done any mobile reviews yet, simply because I haven't actually found any that I've enjoyed playing. But I absolutely love the Dragon Ball series, and when one of my really good friends turned me onto this game, I was a bit skeptical. After playing it for a while though, it really grew on me. Dragon Ball Legends contains different characters from all the different animes, and though you can build your party to contain whichever characters you want, it is based around Shallot, a brand new character designed specifically for this game. As you play through the main story, you'll discover more about Shallot and why you've never seen him in any of the shows. Without giving too much away, he's a Saiyan from the future who's lost his memory and has no idea where he is, who he is, or why he's here in our timeline. As you battle your way through the story, which contains 6 parts, with multiple episodes within those parts, you'll get to face off against some of the most iconic characters in all of the series, from Cell to the androids to Majin Buu and everything in between. You'll have to fight your way up the ranks, discovering more about this new future Saiyan and making friends as you go. Each mission that you do will reward you with items, equipment, and one of the most important things, Chrono Crystals, which we'll get into more depth about a little later. For me personally, the story was pretty interesting. Since I'm really into Dragon Ball, it gave me a chance to learn a bit more about the lore of the shows. Along with learning the lore, you'll also run into tons of well-known characters like Bulma, Beerus, and tons of the Z fighters that you'll recognize if you've watched the animes. Like many mobile games, Dragon Ball Legends uses an energy system in order for you to participate in the missions. However, energy recovery tickets are pretty commonplace as rewards for doing missions or events and can even be bought in the exchange shops for certain types of currencies. If you're not willing to use up any of your tickets or want to save your currency for something else, it'll take 20 minutes of real time to recharge one of your energy ticks. Now, this game does have a limited amount of main story missions. However, once you've managed to fight your way through all of those missions, the game isn't over, not by a long shot. There are tons of different things to do to keep you occupied and interested in the game. There are constantly changing events, which are basically missions that are based around certain events that have happened in the animes. These events can give you everything from Chrono Crystals to Zenny to training items, and some events can even help you to unlock new characters. One thing to mention about the events is that they also use up your energy, so be mindful of that if you're trying to get through the main story first. Now, if you've run out of energy and still want to continue to play, there are a few different options for you. First, Dragon Ball Legends offers a PvP mode, where you can take on players from all over the world in a 1v1 fight with your chosen party. Keep in mind that the PvP matches run on a ranking system, so you won't have to worry about jumping into PvP for the first time and getting smashed by somebody that's been playing much longer than you. You'll be pitted against somebody with a similar skill set as yourself, and the lower ranked players will also have their character levels limited. So again, you don't have to worry about much higher leveled characters just stomping your newly acquired characters. The second way to continue playing is the co-op mode. If you're not into PvP and just want to play the game but are out of energy, you can jump into the co-op game mode where you and one other player will take on an incredibly strong enemy. The enemy that you'll have to face changes on a regular basis to keep it from getting stagnant, just like the events. You and one other player will have to cooperate and help each other out in order to take down these crazy strong enemies. However, doing so grants some awesome rewards, so it's absolutely worth trying out. Now, I've been talking about getting new characters pretty much this whole video, and I'm betting you're wondering, well, how the hell do you do that? Well, one way I mentioned earlier is by doing events. Doing certain events will grant you items called Z-Powers. After acquiring a certain amount of Z-Power, you'll level up the star level of that character and boom, free character. Generally speaking, they're lower classed characters. There are 3 classes, Hero, Extreme, and Sparking. Now, most of the events will grant you Hero or Extreme classes, which are pretty good, and some of the Extremes can even be stronger than Sparking classed characters. However, if you want the absolute strongest characters possible, you'll want to get your hands on Sparking characters. Again, there are certain events that will grant you some Sparking characters, but the best way to get your hands on them Sparking characters is by summoning. Earlier I had mentioned Chrono Crystals. Though they can be used for filling your energy bar, the best way to spend them is in the summoning menu. In the summoning menu, there are a bunch of different packs where you can spend those crystals to get strong characters. Each pack contains different characters, so make sure to look around and see which characters you would like to try and get. Each character has a certain percentage, so you're not always guaranteed a sparking character unless it says so. So, within the summoning menu there are two different summons, a single summon or a consecutive summon. Once per day you can buy a single summon for only 20 crystals, and any single summon after that will cost you 100 crystals. The consecutive summon always costs 1000 chrono crystals. However, a lot of those consecutive summons come with bonuses, like training items, extra Z powers to level up the star level of certain characters, or even a guaranteed sparking character. On the top right of each pack is a little button. Once pressed, it will show you exactly what is available in that pack and the percentages of acquiring that character. Acquiring the same character multiple times will level up the star level of said character, which raises your power level. Power levels are incredibly important for any fight that you're in, from the main missions to PvP to co-op and everything in between. You'll want to make sure that your characters are strong enough to take on any challenge. The best way to grow your chrono crystal stockpile is by doing the missions. Each mission that you do for the first time will grant you a few crystals. On top of the first time clear reward, each mission has challenges. These challenges are different for each mission that require you to do certain things like battle with a red type character, clear the match in a certain amount of time, or do certain attacks. Once the challenges are complete, you'll receive crystals for your efforts. If you're really not into working your tail off and are willing to spend a few bucks, the fastest way to get crystals is in the store. You can outright buy the chrono crystals or spend a few bucks on a robot that will dig up crystals for you while you're playing the game. In my opinion, though the store is an option, you'll probably not need to actually spend any money to get the characters you want. The game itself is really good about throwing crystals at you for everything you do, from the daily login bonuses to the first time clear rewards and challenges. You should be able to gather up enough crystals to summon a formidable team. I managed to save up 14,000 chrono crystals before I spent a single one on summoning. The events and free summoning tickets they give you for unlocking achievements gave me more than enough characters of all the classes that I was able to complete the story before I even went into the summoning menu. Another great thing that I want to mention about summoning is that the packs are constantly changing. So if you don't see any character that you want right now, just wait a week or two and save your crystals. The packs will change and the characters that are available for summoning will change with it. And not to worry, if you've missed out on your favorite character this time around, he'll be back in another pack later on down the line. My current favorite character in the game is Hit, the legendary assassin. I missed out on him and didn't get him when he was available, but after waiting for a few weeks, he came back in another pack and now he's my favorite yellow character. Speaking of characters, let's talk about them for a little bit. Each character has its own color class. Each color has its advantage and disadvantage. For instance, blue is strong against red characters, but weak against green characters. It's basically a circle where each color has an advantage against one color and is disadvantaged against a different color. All except for Shallot, the main character of the game, whose color is white, which has no weakness and is strong against every color in the circle. On top of the colors, each character is either a melee type, range type, or support type. Each type of character has its own fighting style. Melee types are good at bare-knuckle brawls, where range types are better at using energy blasts, and support characters help out your whole party. Make sure to build a team that suits your fighting style the best. Now let's talk about the fights themselves. The gameplay for Dragon Ball Legends is pretty interesting. Each player in the game will draw cards. Those cards are a direct correlation to what attacks you can perform. Red cards will make your character attempt a melee attack, where yellow cards are for ranged attacks, blue are special attacks, and green are buff attacks that will either boost your character's stats or hinder your opponent's stats. On top of the attacks themselves, you can swipe the screen to get your character to sidestep the opponent and attack from the side, or just tap the screen to hit your enemy in the face with a melee attack or send a singular energy blast at them, depending how far away the enemy is, of course. Once you get the hang of it, there are countless combos that you can perform to beat your enemy into a pulp and win the fight. Like I said earlier, this is my absolute favorite mobile game. With so much to do and keep you busy, I felt that I should share it with you guys. If you're into Dragon Ball at all, this game has so much to do that I can't even get to it all in this video. I could go on and on about item awakenings to make your equipment stronger, the guild where you and 29 other people can create a guild to compete against other guilds for great prizes, and so much more. Oh, and if you're into the game and would like to join my guild, I'll make sure to leave the code down below somewhere so that you guys can do that once you've reached the appropriate level. With all that being said, I would like to know if you guys have played this or are planning to check it out. Leave me a comment down below. I'm always curious to know what our little community here thinks. Does this look like something you guys would be interested in or nah? And with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here and get to work on something else. Have a great rest of your day or night, depending where and when you're watching this, and I hope to see you in Dragon Ball Legends. Later!